Games in Glasgow, Scotland. 4 medals today, including a gold medal. We'll tell you all about it in Primetime Sports Friday.
I love gold and I loved gold medals, so tell us all about that later, Ricardo. Now, there's also sports commentary and weather in this newscast, but before the break, the feedback question.
And this evening, we're asking, what does Emancipation Day mean to you, and how can Jamaica do more to honor its significance?
Of course, you can share your comments online at facebook.com/televisionjamaica and post on X at TVJ News Center.
Please stay with us. Primetime News returns right after this break.
KFC's. Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International and those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com.
First up this evening, a dramatic rescue unfolded in Manorview Drive in St. Andrew today.
An elderly blind woman from the community fell nearly 30 feet into a gully in the community.
Yes, Kalisha, and I was on the scene of this particular incident, and as you'll hear in this report, the high incidence of bushfires across the country is impacting the pace at which firefighters can respond to other emergencies. Residents, police and firefighters focusing on a section of the Cassava Peace Gully in Manorview Drive in St. Andrew. Nearly 30 feet below, a woman lies on the ground, grimacing in pain. She is blind and elderly. Residents claim she fell into the gully from 9 a.m.
But you go on the wrong side, because I ever see her and time if I see her, we ever care what I side here. But when I see her this man, I never hear her. So she take the wrong side, and wrong side she take now coming down. She got step the wrong way, and so she step after the gully. And I see her just to get help, just to come. Our time now, we are called from 9 o'clock, and I know we don't see nothing. We call station, we call fire brigade station, we call ambulance, and nothing we don't see. We are going to hear hold on, about cars, and we are buying long for paid.
Police rebuffed the claims that they took 3 hours to respond.
Nobody, no.
Nobody no call. Nobody no nothing about this.
No, me show you. We take line. Christian said don't say this line.
Back in the gully, a resident used an old umbrella to shield the woman from more pain, while a plan was being devised to rescue her. Using a mix of rope, 2 ladders and cardboard, the firemen created a pulley to hoist her free. But after several pulls, she nearly fell again. it became clear that wouldn't work, so they turned to plan B. That meant walking nearly 5 minutes away to another section of the gully. There, flies, insects, a nasty smell, and a mountain of debris and garbage greeted the rescue team.
I'm standing in absolute filth, literally filth. Pampers, baby diapers, all sorts of debris and garbage scattered here behind this home and going down into the gully. But in the most irony of ironies, this heap of debris and garbage and filth actually provided a solution for this dramatic rescue mission here this afternoon, because it was this pile of garbage that residents accumulated here over the years, this dumping their garbage illegally, that really provided the steps for the residents and firefighters to emerge out of this gully and into this backyard with the injured woman to take her off to get medical attention.
The rescued woman was placed into the back of the police service van and taken to hospital. District Officer Ainsworth Allison explained why his team from Trenchtown in downtown Kingston had to respond to this situation in the north of St. Andrew.
At this time, we're having a lot of bushfire calls, so the closest stations are out on fire calls, so we had to respond.
Tell me about the challenges that you experienced today with this rescue.
It is a great challenge because she fell in the gully and there was nowhere to pull her out. So we have to walk way down the gully where there is garbage pile up. So we have to use the garbage pile up as to make a road to take her out of the gully.
So what is the state of the woman like? Broken limbs? What you see so far?
Well, so far we haven't identified any broken limbs, but the police is taking her to the hospital, so she will be treated.
Be wary of bushfires. That warning from the Met Service as high temperatures and the ongoing drought continue to create dry conditions across the country. This increases the risk of land degradation as fires affect the ability to support plants, wildlife, and agriculture. Ramada Lyons explains.
The island currently battles a drought, but it's not just water in pipes that's likely to be put to the test. Water in firefighters' hoses could also be stretched to the limit. Director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica points to the Bushfire Warning Index. He says with increased dryness, higher temperatures, and less water being available, the risk of bushfires increases.
This is primarily climate-induced bushfires. Yes, people will throw cigarette butts or they might light fires in certain areas, and that is another trigger for bushfires. But this is where the dryness is going to contribute, or it will make those situations even more intense.
2 weeks into July 2026, the St. Catherine Fire Department pointed to an uptick in bushfires in the parish. The Jamaica Fire Brigade and the Ministry of Agriculture are among the agencies monitoring the potential developments island-wide.
The climate conditions creating the perfect scenario for that generation and development of the bushfires because of some ignition. It could even be a lightning in ignition if we do get the clouds and the thunderstorms and lightning. But if we do have that, it could also mean a source of bushfires.
Now, rising temperatures have proven to be a major health and environmental hazard, not just locally. Headlines around the world just this week.
More than 360,000 people have been evacuated from parts of France and Spain as major wildfires continue to burn. There are fears that a temperature surge on Wednesday could make the fires worse.
The ongoing heat wave could create more blazes in Spain and France, but urged countries to the east to prepare for imminent disasters.
Locally, the potential impact goes beyond reporting on fires. Burnt grass and trees that protect soil leave land more vulnerable to degradation because of the loss of vegetation. There's also nutrient depletion, as intense fires destroy organic matter and reduce long-term soil fertility. Loss of biodiversity is at stake too if fires destroy habitats, reducing plant and animal populations. It's important to note that the areas showing the highest risk of climate-induced bushfires locally are in the eastern section of the country, where many farmers are located in rural St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and Portland.
The impact of dryness and higher temperatures, climate conditions generally for us, would also mean an impact on the vegetation, on the land, on agriculture, and our food security is very important to us.
Fires also pose the threat of lower agricultural productivity as degraded land from fires support fewer crops, affecting farmers' livelihood and food security. In the meantime, the Water Ministry says there's a construction of an additional 30 loading bays in proximity to wells to improve the response to the drought.
Putting in additional loading bays and increasing the hours, allowing for trucks to be loaded overnight to facilitate early morning deliveries, we believe will significantly reduce the impact.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations says the Caribbean faces the problem of major forest fires yearly.
Each dry season in Trinidad and Tobago, wildfires, also known as forest fires or bushfires, ignite along hillsides and roadways.
It endangers lives and social environments as well as the regional economy. Now, as Jamaica has already recorded its hottest days so far this year, the land remains under watch. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, TVJ News has received videos and still images of a massive wildfire that's currently raging in Little Park District, Pedro Plains, St. Elizabeth. Units from the Black River and Junction fire stations have responded to the blaze, which is destroying millions of dollars worth of crops, farm grass, and drip hose. TVJ News understands that firefighters have not been able to say how the fire started, but they've been on the scene since sometime after 4 o'clock Friday evening. Heavy winds are reportedly hindering efforts, but firefighters say they have contained about 60% of the blaze. Now, this is a developing story, so stay tuned to TVJ News for more details on this situation. So to come this evening, demolition battle between a member of the clergy and a St. Elizabeth resident. And in business news, OUR secures a $10 million win for utility customers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Before the first...
Welcome back, and we pick up this segment with some more news on the dry spell facing Jamaica because business owners in several parishes are reeling from the effects of the drought. In Manchester, one farmer said he lost one of his animals due to the heat. Now, there are strong appeals for the authorities to truck water to affected communities.
The heat is on, and Jamaicans across the 14 parishes are feeling the wrath of the drought.
The time is very dry. We can't bathe how we want to bathe. We have to bathe, put down the water, and flush bathroom. That is devastating.
This is Berwick Town in Manchester, typically one of the coolest parts of the island, now scorched. Farmers too have been left at the mercy of the drought.
Just a little in the tank, it almost dry now, and we have the animal them to get water, no water, none at all. They are raw.
And this farmer told our news team that he has already lost one of his animals to the punishing heat.
We have a shade days out over on this side, and every time here so. But instead of him to go under the shade, what happened now in tangle on the peg when me time pan and stone strike him. Big mother hug. So me had to go really lose that. Well, me have to just take that as a loss.
We are suffering. We have animal like chicken, goat, pig, cow, and we don't have any water to give them. When we buy a load of water for $12,000, that it can't maintain nothing.
This comes as the Met Service reported on Thursday that as of June 26, 10 of the 14 parishes received below average rainfall, and the prediction looking bleak for the August-September period. While the government has promised to truck water to the worst affected areas, people in Manchester say they're running out of patience.
And we want water because guess what happened? They took the little white jug where they put in at the drum. When you buy 2 of it, you have to pay $8,000. When you buy 3 at $12,000. It no last no time. I don't know because we are buy the water, why finish so often? You understand me? So guess what happened? We want to hear something.
Meanwhile, in St. Mary, some businesses are on the verge of drying up because of the drought.
Some weeks, I only get water one day for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Just last week, I had to leave my business to go and get water so that we can continue operation.
In that particular case, the NWSC says water can be trucked to businesses in the parish once they have the storage capacity. However, the drought conditions have put increased pressure on resources. For instance, the Pot in the Spring system in St. Mary usually produces 900,000 gallons of water per day, but now it only produces between 600,000 to 700,000 gallons.
In the meantime, a commitment to residents in parts of Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Catherine that as of May next year, the drought problems will be a thing of the past. The commitment comes as parts of the country battle a historic dry period.
The drought is on, and residents are feeling the effects. Many, including those in the corporate area, are now looking to the state for a permanent fix to this seemingly annual problem. Water Minister Matthew Samuda says the $92 million Rio Cobre water treatment project is coming soon and will supply 15 million gallons of water daily to sections of Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as part of Portmore and Spanish Town.
That 15 million gallons represents the shortfall that we have during times of drought with a little addition. So it gives additional capacity even for growth in population and commercial use along those corridors.
The minister is confident that come next year, once this project is complete, the current problems will disappear.
We're not just empathizing and sympathizing. We're actually investing in ending the problem. In your worst drought, you're short 12 million gallons demand versus supply. This will supply 15 million gallons. We don't expect to have the problem in May of next year going forward, certainly in the eastern belt of south of Jamaica.
Until then, some Jamaicans will have to put up with reduced water supply, and tighter restrictions are also likely as some parishes get historically low levels of rainfall. The water minister was speaking with the media after a tour of the facility's worksite in Content, St. Catherine.
We're happy with the progress of the Vinci-led construction team. NWC is eager for it to be completed to be able to pull the water that it needs for the corporate area, as I said, by end of next year, May. The project is on time, it is on budget, and myself and P.S. Robertson are very happy with the progress.
But people in other parts of the country are also feeling the pinch from the drought and are wondering if a fix is coming soon for their area too.
The largest water project is in the northwest of the island where the pipes are being laid between Martha Brae and Negril. That phase of the Western Water Resilience is $170 million. This is $92 million, so that is $80 million more. So we are active in a number of spaces. They are in the engineering and training and land acquisition phase in Pedro Plains with the irrigation scheme. When they enter the construction phase later this year, that will be the construction phase of approximately $200 million. So it gives you an idea of the sort of commitment the government has made to improving the water infrastructure in Jamaica.
Aliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
The action of an Anglican priest to demolish a house in Bull Savannah in St. Elizabeth has shocked the entire community and has driven a wedge between them and the clergywoman. Kirk Wright explains.
Alicia Smith had just left her home in Bull Savannah, St. Elizabeth, and boarded a flight at the Norman Manley International Airport heading to Canada when something totally unexpected and disturbing happened.
And then I got a phone call that my house is being demolished.
She left the airport and rushed to St. Elizabeth, hoping she would have arrived in time to halt the demolition.
So by the time I got back to St. Elizabeth, I was too late. The house was already demolished. There was only just maybe one wall, two walls that's left.
The two-bedroom, fully furnished house with living room was habitable and in perfect condition. Miss Smith says she, her mom, and her son were all born there. She says she was in shock and headed straight to the Junction police station.
I made a report. The report, I got a receipt which said it was unauthorized demolition of a two-bedroom apartment. So I went to the house in Bullsav with some officers, and my cousin, who is a pastor, which is the one who conducted this act.
Reports are that the priest who allegedly organized the demolition says she got power of attorney to demolish the building from her uncle, who is said to be legally blind and lives overseas. But Ms. Smith says the demolition was illegal because the house and land are owned by her mom, who lives in Canada with her.
I paid off the mortgage August 2023 from NHT, and NHT got in touch with me to let me know that they're going to pass the file on to the National Land Agency so that they can go ahead and issue a registered title. So I've been in dialogue with them prior to this, but the last email I got from them was on May 3rd.
Now the demolition has angered the Bull Savannah community, who believes the priest was not in a right to demolish the perfectly livable structure.
And I must say, this is one of the wickedest acts I ever seen from I am 74 years old now. Because it's not an old building. People all about one place to live, still on the street, and it's a well, good, finished house. So this is very wicked.
But as a priest, this should never have been her final or first decision to do a demolition of a house that is livable, perfect. In this side of St. Elizabeth, where persons has lost so much in 2 hurricanes past, we hold our dwellings so close to our hearts. And you know what, they are family members. Wrong decision, wrong.
We went to the home of the Anglican priest accused of carrying out the act to get a comment, but was told she was not there, even though she was seen staring at our news team from her window, refusing to come out. Commander for the St. Elizabeth Division, Superintendent Courage Minto, says the matter is being investigated before any possible actions are taken. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has lost his appeal against the Supreme Court ruling refusing to strike out portions of an affidavit filed by a Senior Integrity Commission official. The affidavit, submitted by the Commission's former Director of Information and Complaints, Craig Beresford, forms part of the Prime Minister's legal challenge to the Commission's 2024 investigation report into his financial affairs. Dr. Holness had argued that sections of the affidavit were scandalous and sought to have them removed. Despite the setback, the Prime Minister previously succeeded in obtaining a court order requiring the Integrity Commission to disclose certain documents linked to the investigation as his substantive legal challenge continues.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's legal team says today's Court of Appeal ruling does not weaken his case against the Integrity Commission. In a statement this afternoon, the team said the appeal centered on access to unredacted documents and an application to strike out portions of an affidavit filed by former Integrity Commission official Craig Beresford. The attorneys say they have already secured the disclosure of a wide range of documents from the Commission and remain confident in the substantive case. They maintain Dr. Holness was entitled to the unredacted documents and say their focus now shifts to the unresolved legal issues still before the court.
To another legal battle now, the People's National Party's candidate, Paul Buchanan, has lost his latest legal bid to overturn the results of the St. Andrew West Central general election, which was won by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The Court of Appeal today dismissed Buchanan's challenge, ruling that the statutory deadline for bringing the matter before the election court had expired. Buchanan alleged voter fraud and other irregularities influenced last September's poll, including concerns surrounding the electronic voter identification system. But the court upheld earlier rulings that his challenge was filed outside the time allowed by law. Despite today's setback, Buchanan's attorney, Hugh Wildman, says a constitutional motion will be filed in the Supreme Court next week, with plans to pursue the matter as far as the Privy Council if necessary.
In the meantime, JLP Communication Task Force Chairman Senator Abka Fitz-Henley says the PNP's Paul Buchanan's quest to overturn the general election results in Prime Minister Dr. Holness's constituency is shameful. This morning, the appeal court rejected Buchanan's application for leave to challenge the Supreme Court's dismissal of his bid to pursue judicial review and overturn the general election result in West Central St. Andrew. But the PNP caretaker was quoted as saying he's willing to take the case as far as the Privy Council. Now, Senator Fitz-Henley says there's no merit to any further litigation on this matter.
The decision of yet another court in Jamaica, this time the Court of Appeal, to decline Buchanan's application for leave is not surprising. Neither is the finding that his application has no real prospect of success. Anybody who follows the politics in Jamaica knows that the votes which were counted last in the election are from an area where Prime Minister Holness is traditionally very strong. Buchanan knows this, but his persistence is not surprising either. It's an indication, a reiteration of the modus operandi of the PNP, where they are willing to assert what they know is not so in order to secure political mileage. It's shameful, quite frankly.
To another legal issue now, the Supreme Court has granted an injunction preventing the Integrity Commission from bringing illicit enrichment charges against Cabinet Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley pending the outcome of his application for judicial review. The court also granted Dr. Wheatley leave to challenge the Commission's findings and recommended that the matter be heard by a panel of 3 judges. The injunction was granted after the Integrity Commission declined the court's suggestion to give an undertaking not to lay charges before the judicial review is heard. The Commission alleges Dr. Wheatley has assets disproportionate to his income by $164 million. However, the minister rejects the allegation, arguing the Commission failed to account for the $168 million in rental income earned over a 10-year period.
The family of a missing St. Catherine woman is seeking the public's assistance in finding the woman. 33-year-old Nicolette Lawrence of Old Harbour Glades was last seen on July 23. She was wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, and a pair of cream sandals. Her sister says the family is very worried.
Friday morning, I got a message from her saying she is in Old Harbour, but I didn't see her, so I asked her where she is, and through to the whole day Friday, I didn't get any response from her. No response, just the one message saying she's in Old Harbour. And I asked her where she is, and I didn't get any response. So through to the Saturday now, I got another message from her, and that was the message that, raised that was somewhat alarming. And we tried to contact her, and while trying to contact her this Saturday, we get no response. The phone just went off, and no reply, nothing from her. So that was when we reported it to the police.
Anyone with information about the whereabouts of Nicolette Lawrence can contact the Old Harbour Police at 1-876-983-2204. That's 1-876-983-2204. The police emergency number 119 or the nearest police station. We take another break, but please stay with us because there's more local stories when we return.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Continuing the news now, after months of planning, Dream Weekend kicked off in Montego Bay, offering the first real test of whether one of the biggest events on Jamaica's entertainment calendar could thrive outside its longtime home in the Grill. Now, judging by the turnout on opening night, many believe the answer may already be taking shape.
For months, the relocation of Dream Weekend from its longtime home in the Grill to Montego Bay dominated conversation among partygoers and tourism stakeholders. Questions swirled about whether the event could recreate the atmosphere it did in Westmoreland.
I'm very happy about tonight's turnout because a lot of people ridiculed us. Said we shouldn't join with the Kingstonians and the Dream Weekend. And we were idiots. And nobody was going to come. And a lot of them did not come because they thought that nobody else was going to come. And they turned up.
But if the opening night is anything to go by, organizers may have little reason to worry.
I've been to many Dream Weekends before. And the first night was always kind of, welcome vibe, but a few people. But tonight, ram. Dream Weekend, then flip the script upside down. So if the first night is like this, imagine the other nights to come. Normally it's like, but tonight, different vibes. And maybe we have to do things different.
Hundreds streamed into the venue Thursday night, creating the vibrant scenes many had hoped for, marking the official start of the festival. And the patrons were loving every bit of it.
I'm from the UK. Dream Weekend was a good start. I'm ready for the rest of the weekend. Yay!
Oh, it's a day first, right? I already had so much fun. And we have how many more days? Like 5 more days? Yes. We're gonna mash up the place.
It's going good so far. Because the king, when the king talk, everybody listening. I'm the king of Dream.
You know me I say? Dream Weekend finest, because shopping a price like the Royal Highness.
While the music and festivities took center stage, another operation unfolded quietly in the background. The police maintained a high visibility presence throughout the venue and along key roadways. The development forms part of a broader security plan designed to ensure patrons can enjoy the weekend safely while deterring criminal activities. Anthony Lug, TVJ News.
And it's time now for the responses from our friends on Facebook and X to this question: what does Emancipation Day mean to you, and how can Jamaica do more to honor its significance? The first comment is from Audley Phillip. It's all about honoring the struggles of our ancestors, celebrating the triumph of human dignity over oppression, and recognizing that freedom was won through profound sacrifice. To show its significance, we can deepen educational programs, expand cultural community events, and promote social justice initiatives. This one is from Shooks Bennett. The way how life is lifting, I'm just glad it's a holiday. I guess life is looking, rather. And Ambitious Goodness saying emancipation means freedom and remembering the sacrifices of our ancestors. We can honor it by learning our history, celebrating our culture, and keeping their legacy alive. Well, keep those comments coming to this question: what does Emancipation Day mean to you, and how can Jamaica do more to honor its significance? And you can share those comments on facebook.com/television Jamaica and post on X at TVJ News Center. The financial week and news from overseas are all after the break. Stay with us.